Hi, this is Bettina from Cozy Ink Company. I'm here today to show you how to make measurements for certain chocolate bars, certain products. So in this case, today I will show you how to make the measurements to make a small little box for this Toblerone chocolate bar. The size of this one is 35 grams if you want to go and copy the measurements. This is really not about showing you how to decorate a box. It's mainly just to show you how to do the calculations. So you would have any size of chocolate bars or little soap bottles, but this one is a triangular one, so it's a little tricky. So let's get through this together and pause if you think it's too much, but I hope you will stick to the end because I will show you it's not that difficult. The first thing we have to do is measure the length of the chocolate bar. In this case, it's 4 inches. I'll do all these in inches. If you are calculating with metrics, it's just the same. So the principle is the same. I'm going to add a little bit to make room so it's not too tight. So I'm going to say 4 1/4. So the chocolate bar is 4 1/4. Then we need to figure out the width, if you will. 3 sides are very tight 1 inch, so I'm going to say also here 1 1/4. So we have a chocolate bar that's 4 1/4, and this side is 1 1/4. So we now know we need to have 4 1 1/4 size. The reason for 4 is that when you open this up, I have made the closing flap the same length as the other side. You don't have to, you can make it shorter, maybe 1/2 inch, but I've done so that it closes like this. You open the box up and you will see that the chocolate bar fits inside. I have added 1/2 inch, and the reason is that I have, just to reinforce the edge, I folded this over. So we need to add 1/2 inch to this. So all these are 1 1/4. Bring this in a little bit. 1 1/4. And the last one is 1/2 inch. Now, we need to figure out the height of the triangle. For those of you who have done that before, you know it can be very tricky. So I am going to cheat a little bit. I have a small piece of scrap paper, and what I'm going to do is, I know the base of my triangle is 1 1/4. So I'm going to say 1 1/4. I also know that the center of 1 1/4 is 5/8 of an inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's there. Now I will make a line that is on a 90-degree angle to this one. Just use my mat here to draw a line like that. I also know that these sides are 1 1/4. So what I will do is I will take my ruler and do 1 1/4 from this line up to where it hits the center line that we just did, of course without moving the paper. Just draw a line here. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So hopefully it matches up. It's a little bit easier off camera, but roughly you get the idea. And now I can measure the center. And it is 1 1/8 of an inch. Yeah. You could also do some folding and some cutting. If that works for you, just go ahead. That's what you should do. So we know that the short side of the paper is going to be 1/2 inch and 4 times 1 1/4. So if we add all this up, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4/4, that's 5. So that's 5 1/2. So we know already one side of the paper is 5.5. We now need to figure out the length of the paper. So if you see like this, we now know how long this side is going to be. We need to figure out the length of the paper. So we know the chocolate bar is 4.25. So that we definitely have in the center. Then we need some room for the closing, because as you can see, it goes in like this. So it takes up some space. This portion is exactly half of the triangle, and we just calculated that to 5/8 of an inch. So we know we need 5/8 of an inch on each side of the chocolate bar to accommodate for the way the box closes. We also know that we need to have the triangle, and this is the top of the triangle. So we now have 4.25 plus 5/8 of an inch and 5/8 of an inch. So this is this part that measures up to 5.5. We also need the top of the triangle, okay? We just calculated that to be 1.1/8 of an inch. Just to show you how I construct the size of the paper. We add all this up, and the way I do it is I take the whole inches first. So I have 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Then I calculate all the fractions. 1/4 of an inch is the same as 2/8 of an inch. Yeah? So now we have, everything is an 1/8 of an inch. It's easier to add them all up. We say 1 plus 5 is 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 8 is 1, so that's your 1. We are done with this. Then we could move over here. We have 5/8 and 1/8, so that's 6/8. So we have 6/8. 6/8 of an inch, that is the same as 3/4. You divide by 2, divide by 2, so that's 3/4. We now know that the length of the paper should be 7/3. So that is your measurement of this box, okay? Since this is a little sloppy done, I will just draw it up on a piece of scrap paper. All these scrap papers are very useful when you're making boxes, because if you make mistakes, it's not a big deal, but you don't want to make mistake on your nice paper. So I will just use this piece of scrap paper to show you exactly how I ended up with these measurements. So 7/3. Just going to draw a line at the bottom at 7.75. That there. I also know the height of the paper is going to be 5.5. So I use this grid mat a lot to make sure that it's square. This is not what we're going to be cutting from, so it's not a big deal, but it's nice that it's square. Anyway, we're going to do 5.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Going to do that on the other side as well. Line this up if I can. Do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. And this should be 7/3. Yay! So there we go. So this is the size of the paper we just calculated. We also know that we need this 1/2 inch that we are folding to reinforce the closure of the box, and we need 4 sides of 1.25. So I'll start with my 1/2 inch. That's there. Then I will calculate the 4 1.25. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is the last one, that's 4. Do the same on the other side. I will make the 1/2 inch, then I do 1.25, 1.25, and 1.25. Now I will just draw a line between the two. Now we know how to score the paper on the long side. Sorry, short side, because we're going to put it like this in the scoreboard. Anyway, now we need to figure out how to score on the long side. And we know already that the base of the triangle is, or the height of the triangle is 1/1/8. So that's there. We do the same from the other side. 1/1/8. Do the same on the bottom. 1/1/8 and 1 1/8. Now we can draw a line here. This part will be folded onto this part, like this. This is going to be the front, which is going to be covered though, but it's the front of the box. The bottom of the box is where we need to make this triangle. So this is the front and this is the bottom of the box. This is where you need your triangles to be. So you have the distance between these two, that's 1 1/4. The center for this is 5/8 of an inch. Over here the same, 5/8 of an inch. Now, this can all be done in the scoreboard, except for these 4 lines that I'm going to make now, because these go on the diagonal. So these you have to do by hand. I will show you later. Now I just want to make the template so it's easy to understand how we will be scoring. So we're going to do this, and over here, and over here, right? So now I will show you which parts to cut off. This part goes away, this part goes away, and we take out this part, take out this part, because this is the part that we fold over. I round the corners, you don't have to. I think it looks nice, but it's not necessary. So that's that part. Here we are going to cut up to the triangle like that. And these 4 flaps will go inside the box. So I have one that I've cut out already. So here you have the same, just cut out like this. This is going to fold in, this is going to fold in, and we will close the box. Yeah. So now we are going to score a piece of paper, and I made it a bit more neat, like that. I will bring out my scoreboard, and we'll get the scoring done. So I want you guys to see the top, like this. So we have a piece of paper that fits the measurements of 7 3/4 and 5 1/2. 7 3/4 and 5 1/2. Now I will first score on the short side. So this is this side. And I do that at 1/2 inch. And then every 1 1/4. So I will have 1 1/4, 1 1/4, 1 1/4, and the last bit is, interestingly enough, also 1 1/4. So now I've done the scoring of all these lines. Now I turn the paper, and all I have to score is 1/8 of an inch from each side. I prefer to do it like this, and flip, and do it like this. Yeah. So now I've made the score lines exactly like they are here. Okay. So we need to mark the center of the bottom of the box. And we have 1 1/4. Again, the center is 5/8 of an inch. You're just gonna mark the center. You're gonna do the same, the second one from the small piece here. Mark the center, 5/8 of an inch. Now we don't need the scoreboard anymore, because this we will do by hand. You have the corner of your box. For this I use actually the skinnier end of this stylus. You have the center, you go into the corner, just like that. Do it on the other side as well, like that, and the same here. And there. So all we have to do is cut this out, which I will not bore you with the details. This is how it's done. I like to use a combination of tape and liquid glue, because I don't think the tape is enough to hold a box like this. In time it will open up. But I do like the straight lines that it gives you on the edge of the box when we put this together. So that's why I use a combination, which I just need to get. So I'm back with my glue. So what I do is I remove these bits of double-sided tape first. And as I said, I use a combination of liquid glue and tape. I think it gives the best result. Just add a little bit of this to reinforce. Like that. And then all you have to do is align this with the tape, and you know it's in place right away. You don't need to hold it. You do the same over here. Just align that edge, press here, same thing. You align this one and that one. Once the tape is in place, you just take a bone folder or a pencil, whatever is at your disposal. There we go. Just to reinforce that the glue will stick. Then I have this edge that I also would like to glue inside the box. It's really just to make a nice edge. And this is what I will do now. I will open it up, fold this in, and close it like this. Yeah. So, moment of truth. This will fit. We close like this, and we close the box. So this is all there is to it. Don't be intimidated by the way that we do the inches. And I would say your ruler is your friend. You can always, if you don't like to add up all the numbers that we added up to find out the size of the paper, what you can do is simply, you know these measurements, and what you do is you say, first I have 1/2 inch, then I have 1 1/4, so I'm going to count 1 1/4. I'm going to add another 1 1/4, so that's another 1 1/4, third one, up to 4 1/4, and the last one is up to 5 1/2. So this is a very simple way of calculating, of adding up inches. I find it easier to calculate with centimeters, but my scoreboard is in inches, so I need to do these calculations. Just add them all up on your ruler, and then it really makes it very, very easy to find the sizes of your paper. Yeah. So if you have any products you would like me to calculate the measurements for, just send me a comment and I'll try and get that to you with the right measurements and the score lines. And yeah, hopefully you will make a lot of boxes and The decoration, I'm sure you're better at than me, but these are quite cute and they fit the chocolate bar very well. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time.